Good evening, folks. Welcome to Debate the News on this Thursday, the 24th of April. NFL Draft Day, guys. Man, oh man. So, what does that mean? That means that we have some NFL teams that are out there right now picking their future. So, I want to say congratulations to the young draft prospects that's going to be drafted tonight and over the weekend. A lot of them, man. And we have someone on the stage here, real. I think your son is one of those possible prospects, correct? Real going once.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, make sure you guys are out there praying for Real's Leslie's son. He's a prospect looking to be drafted this year. So, keep him in your prayers, guys. Let's keep
Thank
be
you.
here to
Thank
cheer
you
him
so
on.
much.
Absolutely, folks. Hey, guys, let's no without further delay, let's get started. So, I want to say thank you guys for coming out tonight. As always, we're excited. Hey, folks, if you're listening at home, do me a favor. Download the Shadow Social app. Get in here and let your voice be heard. Once again, download the Shadow Social app, either on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and let us know how you feel. All right, folks. Also, share the room. Let everyone know we're live. Let everyone know that we're live. Hey, if you're in the audience, do me a favor as well. Click the link up top and share the links. Download the apps. Download the podcast, the Debate the News podcast. Follow it, like it, and leave a review, folks. There's more sides to the story. All right, folks. Welcome to the room, folks. As always, we're excited to be here. You know what I want to do? I want to do something totally different tonight. Because I know I got my girl Daphne here. Are you ready? This is what I want to do.
Hound dog. Let's do it, guys.
All right, there you go. There we go. We got it out of the way nice and early, folks. So, yeah, absolutely, man. So, yes, wow. Got a lot to talk about tonight, man. And one of the things that we're going to be speaking about tonight is Shannon Sharpe. All right, it's all over the news. Club Shay Shay. And so we're going to be just speaking about this incident just in its totality. And one thing I don't want to do is I don't want anyone, to think that that we're experts at this. This is our opinion. So any opinion shared here is that of the speakers and of the host. They're not the views of Debate the News podcast. All right. Once again, so with that being said, I want to jump right in because guys, this has been trending all over the place. And we're going to jump right in. We're going to do our datelines. We're going to get those out of the way. I have Christy Chat up next. She's first with this dateline, and then we're going to do that with Skald. Okay, Skald the Hammer. He's going to come in, and then we have Leah come in with a conservative dateline. So with that being said, folks, I want to just go over to Christy Chatham. Chat, let's go.
Every time you say my name, that's freaking hilarious. All right, guys. Happy Friday Eve. Okay. Today's balance dateline is as follows. President Trump has directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate Act Blue. If y'all don't know what Act Blue is, it is a major Democratic fundraising platform, and he's having her investigate some claims of foreign donations. So they will be investigated. We also have one of Florida's top Senate Democrats, Jason Pizzo. I hope I said that correctly. He announced his departure from the Democratic Party, declaring it dead in Florida. He also criticized the party's direction and expressed intentions to continue serving as an independent. How about those independents? Anyway, President Donald Trump has signed a series of executive orders aimed at overhauling the U.S. education policy. Key measures include establishing a White House initiative on historically Black colleges and universities. This initiative aims to strengthen HBCUs through increased private sector partnerships, enhanced institutional development, and improved workforce preparation. The second is overhauling college accreditation processes. So, this will scrutinize accrediting bodies that enforce DEI standards, advocating for a shift towards merit based evaluations and intellectual diversity. Sounds like oxymoron. Reforming K through 12 school discipline policies. New directives call for discipline decisions based solely on student behavior, moving away from previous guidelines that considered racial disparities in disciplinary action. So your racial disparities, such as your school to prison pipeline. He wants those changed. Those directives changed. So those are the three education policies. President Trump's approval rating has experienced a notable decline. According to a recent Fox News poll, the survey indicates that 44% of registered voters approve of his performance, while 53% disapprove. The only other president that has had a lower approval rating in the first 100 days is guess who? You guessed it, Donald Trump. And so, some key areas in his disapproval, the economy, he's at a 38% approval rate with a 56% disapproval. Inflation, 33% approval, 59% disapproval. Tariffs, he's at a 58% disapproval. Taxes, he's at a 53% disapproval. And guns, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, he is at a 44% disapproval. That is it for your balanced Dateline. Back over to you, JB.
All right, chat. I appreciate that. Once again, guys, chat always comes through and provides a very balanced Dateline. So I want you guys to give it up for chat. Guys, we're gonna keep this thing moving because I noticed our Datelines. We
That
expand.
shit was not balanced. That was
So,
slanted as
no,
hell.
one second. We don't talk on the Dateline, TC. We don't do
Oh, I
that at
thought you
all.
said give it
No,
up. My
no,
bad. I was
no,
just giving
no,
it up.
no, no problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep moving. Nah, TC, you're OG, man. You good, you good. But yeah, no Dateline talking about. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move over to Skull. Skull, are you there, my friend? For
I am
economic.
Jonathan.
Let's do it.
Good evening, Debate the News. Good evening, everyone. Skald here with the economic dateline for April 24th. Okay, folks, we had a pretty decent day on the markets, but we did have a fairly low volume rally. What that means is why markets were going up. There wasn't a lot of confidence or heavy volume driving that. So the way to read that, the way that I would read that, the way that most people would read that, is people are optimistic, but they're not so optimistic they're willing to commit the big money yet. At the same time, they are optimistic, and that's good. Several other indicators show that people's opinions on the economy has started to soften a little bit. There seems to be perhaps trade deals in the works. We've been told that many times. And there's a little bit of optimism that has returned to the market as potentially there will be an end to the tariffs or at least a resolution that is beneficial to everyone, including the United States of America. Notably, this morning, Trump said that he has been speaking with China. Then China has clarified later in the morning that they haven't talked to us at all. Yet again, sort of just a stunning sort of back and forth on these tariffs. Yesterday's Dateline, I talked about the fact that Trump said he was going to potentially remove automotive tariffs at 4:40 p.m. and the stock market even reacted, even though it was after hours. Ford and a bunch of others shot up pretty heavily. And then within an hour, he said, "Oh, I'm not going to remove automotive tariffs. I'm going to keep them in place. I'm going to maybe reevaluate them or maybe even raise them." So, and then it obviously all that gain was just erased. Yet again, here we have on display, a little bit of a lack of clarity on tariff policy. Trump says we're talking to China. China says we haven't talked to you at all. So, that's pretty stark. And again, this sort of aligns with what we've heard from Japan. Japan has offered us a deal. They've already offered us a deal, folks. And their deal was we'll remove all tariffs on American cars and start importing Ford, Chevy, you know, and you remove your tariffs on Japanese cars. And most of the Japanese manufacturers already have infrastructure built out here anyway, so they're already building a bunch of their cars here already. Um, so we passed on that deal. That deal also came with a doubling of purchases of U.S. agricultural products. So they were going to start buying a lot of our soybeans. A lot of the soybean farmers have been left high and dry by the current tariff policy yet again. In fact, the government is having to prepare a $29 billion rescue policy to keep farmers above water, as one of their largest customers, China, has canceled all of their incoming crop orders. In more positive news, though, we did have a meeting with Norway, and that seemed to be fairly conciliatory tone. However, after hours of meeting, we still don't have a trade deal. There's nothing inked, right? We had Norway saying that they support the US. We had a little press conference, but we don't have a deal. But it's good to know because Norway has a very, very large sovereign wealth fund, the largest outside of the Middle East. And having them be friendly with America, that's a very good thing. And lastly, in some more positive news, South Korea has just approached us within the last hour, folks. Within the last hour, they said they are open to trade talks. And specifically, they have approached us with a proposal for mutual shipbuilding. One of the stances of Donald Trump is we need to bring ship making and the shipyards back to America. Right now, most of our shipping vessels are made in China. Really, the only ships we're making here in any volume are Navy ships, and even those are sort of few and far between these days. We don't have nearly as many boats on the water as we had, say, 40 or 50 years ago. And so South Korea is giving a proposal that they will come in with us and help build out our domestic shipbuilding industry as perhaps some sort of joint partnership. We don't know those deals exactly, but we do know that they have approached us with a deal for mutual shipbuilding. And I'll go ahead and land there.
You're muted.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Skald. You did a phenomenal job on that as always. And appreciate you guys for letting me know that I was muted. So we're gonna keep that. We're gonna go right over to Leah. Leah is new, guys. So Leah is gonna do a conservative dateline for us. Leah, how you doing today?
I'm good. JB,
Let-
how are you?
I'm on top of the world. Let's hear what you have. Let's hear what you have for us, Leah.
All right, it's my first outing. Everybody be nice. So, conservative podcasts and Gen Z. A recent poll shows that conservative podcasts like those hosted by Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro are getting significant popularity among Gen Z listeners. The trend underscores the growing role of podcasts as a platform political engagement and might, in fact, indicate a trend towards the more conservative side. Just saying, better be careful. We mentioned this one before, but Education Department is resuming loan collections. The U.S. Department of Education is preparing to resume collections on defaulted federal student loans for the first time since 2020. I think that'll help us all out during COVID, but here we are 5 years later. So, I don't know, better time to start paying those. Trump has proposed a 40% tax bracket for millionaires. So discussions among Republicans include a proposal for a 40% tax bracket targeting individuals earning 1 million or more annually. This measure is projected to generate approximately 400 billion in revenue over a decade, though concerns persist about its potential impact on wealthy individuals leaving the US. And then the last one, poor Oprah Winfrey, she's facing some criticism. Her spiritual views have sparked debate among Christian conservatives. Critics argue that her interpretation of Christianity, which is emphasizing self empowerment and multiple paths to God, diverges from traditional Christian teachings. So that is what I have.
Wow, that's a great first outing, Leah. This millionaire tax. Now, any people earning over $1 million a year, is that what is that? I don't think that's fair. I don't think you should tax someone because they're earning over $1 million a year more or put them in a higher tax. Is that what you're saying, Leah? I just want to be clear.
That's what they're starting to talk about. Yep, he proposed it. He's been talking about it, sort of floating a trial balloon like he does. And yeah.
I don't think.
I think that Trump said today that he doesn't agree with that.
Me
You'll lose
either.
a lot of money if you do that, and it's not a good idea. So that was being floated, but I'm not sure. Given Trump's disapproval, it will not happen.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
punish
I'm
people.
glad about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't punish people for being high earners. I disagree with that. No, I don't agree with that at all. So, no, thank you, Leah, for that. No, 100%, guys. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys feel that taxing millionaires 40% of their earnings? You guys think that works?
Well, what's the incentive do you have to earn more money? That's
Guys,
what
what
I
are you guys
think.
what are you guys talking about? If you make over 600,000 a year, it's already taxed at 37%. The difference between that and a 40, a 3% delta. That's the current bracket for this year. So for every dollar you make after your first 600,000, technically I think it's 609, but we'll round it. Is taxed at 37%. So you make a buck after you've made your first 609,000 bucks, mind you. You give 37 cents back. You get the rest.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's the current plan.
but Skull, there's a lot of things that you can do. Skull, there's a lot of things that you can do that guys. Once again, please don't hit the mute all, and that's why I was muted, and that's why you guys were muted. Okay, if you have a co-host, don't hit the mute all button. All right, that's it messes up the flow of our show, and it's not the show. It's not for you to do that. Please do not hit the mute all. Stay away from the 9 dots up top. Appreciate you guys. Listen to me, Skull. But then if they're adding that, I'm quite certain they're going to take some things away, whereas some of the write offs and things that you normally can do. So I just don't like it being targeted. I yes, let's not target.
But what's Skull's point about the 37 cents? I don't understand what is he
But
saying?
my point is what's being proposed is not that different from the current brackets if you're already a high earner. So the current bracket currently is if you make over 609,000 in a year, after that every dollar's in that 37% bracket, right? So it's already taxed at 37%. He's saying that if you make over a million, that'll be taxed at 40. So you would be paying 37 cents on the dollar for every dollar you make between, let's call it 600,000 and $1 million. After you've made another $400,000 taxed at that rate, it would bump up another 3%. America's had a progressive tax plan for a century now. So, I don't really understand like why people are saying that this is crazy. This is how our tax plan has been written for longer than not only us have
Because
been
people don't
alive,
want to
but
pay.
all of us.
Because people don't want to pay more taxes, and it's a guy like you that talks about finance to tax the people that earn the most money
People who own the most money
and
do
create
not pay, don't pay
jobs
taxes
for
like this.
opportunity.
Can you fix your microphone, man, who makes a lot of money?
People
Your
who
mic is
pay
muffled, GC.
He's
Now
probably on a plane, guys. He's
43,000
probably on a
people.
plane.
people who make more money do not pay taxes on income because they don't make money from income. They make money from passive entities that are all types of pass-through situations. So they're not paying, even if they make $600,000 in income, they're not making that directly unless they have a job. They're making, they have, they might pay themselves 100K a
Not
year or
true.
whatever.
You're banging on all the Facebook.
100% true.
Yeah, 1 second. Did anybody mute Grant? Because if we're having that problem already, I'm just gonna drop people. I'm not doing it tonight. We started early. We want to get the show. We're not gonna do the bullshit tonight
I
because
think it's his connection, JP. I think
okay.
it's his connection.
Yeah, I know he's on the plane. I know he's. I could tell he's on the jet. I could tell. So, all right. So, yeah, guys, listen to me. Go ahead, Grant.
No, that was me. Go ahead. I'll come in after you.
Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, so there's some of us that would advocate for a flat tax. There's some of us that would advocate for no tax at all. But I think what would be fairer is that you'd have a flat tax. No matter what you earn, no matter what your tax bracket is, you pay a flat tax. There was a proposal that I was a fan of, the 999 plan. 9% sales tax, 9% income tax, and 9% something else tax. But you'd have a flat tax that your ultra wealthy billionaires and your, poor people that make $20,000 a year, they would all pay the same tax. So I'm an advocate for that. I agree with Jonathan. I'm not a fan of penalizing people. I'm not a fan of progressive tax. And I think that it helps the economy altogether. If you have a flat tax, it makes it fair. It creates a more it's an easier tax filing system as well, altogether. So yeah, that's what I think.
100%, 100%, guys. So anyway, that's something to keep an eye on. Skald, that's something to keep an eye on. And Tirah, your take on this, Tirah, before we go?
Take on taxes?
Yeah, on this millionaire tax.
I think there's a point at which it probably gets to be too much. I would like to see other reforms, but that's not one that I would necessarily care about.
Exactly. All right, guys, real quick. So, man, guys, there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about, and so later on we're going to jump back into this Trump thing because just the politics and the news, because there's so much that's going on. Like there's a second person that has now been the administration has been ordered to bring back from El Salvador. We have just a lot of different things going on. Vladimir, stop. Yeah, we have that to talk about. Like, yo, come on, bro. You that cool with him that you calling him Vladimir? Like that? Yo, that sound like I don't know. So it sounds like a real comfort thing. Like I don't know. I'm gonna stay it because I don't want to offend anyone. But but yeah, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't know how politically correct that joke is, so I'll leave that. I'll leave that right there to the side. But let's just go ahead. What's the question, Ty?
Or comment. I don't know if you're aware that this administration is actively going after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the things that my parents fought for and were arrested for, and the dogs and the whole thing. He signed an executive order today. It's going to be blown away in court.
Yes.
That the disparate impact, which is a legal theory within civil
not
rights.
not district, disparate.
I said disparate. Maybe I didn't clear. And specifically a legal theory within civil rights law that holds entities accountable for policies or practices that, even if seemingly neutral, have disproportionately negative effect on members of protected groups, like race or sex, even without intentional discrimination.
Okay, so one second. Let me explain this, guys. When he's disparate impact, what he's referring to is, I'm going to use Italians for example. Let's say, in order to get hired by a certain company, because I saw this at this example, you had to do a test, but that test has shown to pretty much eliminate Italians. Okay, but you give that, even though it's a test that everyone takes, but that test seem to have an effect on Italians, and you give that test anyway. Okay, that test, there's a disparative impact on Italians because Italians aren't getting hired, even though the test is given to everyone. All right, it has it's having an adverse effect against Italians, so Italians aren't being hired.
Intentional discrimination.
No, one second. No, it's not. It's not intentional. What it is, you can't do that. Okay, right now as it stands. Now, what his executive order says is, because even if you didn't know, okay, even if you didn't know, and if it showed that, you gotta get rid of. But if you didn't know, quote unquote, you weren't able, you didn't think it through, you're not responsible for the disparative impact that it had. So pretty much it erases the disparative impact. So disparative impact is, even if there is a policy that on a surface is not, I guess, one that is meant to exclude, but but in practice it does exclude. Okay, that's a disparative impact. And hopefully I said that correct, Tirah. Is that correct, Tirah?
Well, what it means is if you do a practice that impacts certain groups disproportionately, right? Even if it doesn't flat out say, I mean to do this, it would be violate the current law or our understanding of the current law if it does in fact do that, right? Yeah.
Yep. So so you're responsible for that if you implement policies. Now, one of the more famous cases of disparative impact recently is Wells Fargo. Okay, I haven't looked this up, but I just happen to recall Wells Fargo had I guess, acts that had a disparate impact on the African American community in terms of being able to buy homes and setting up accounts. It was a whole bunch of stuff that happened there, and Wells Fargo had to pay a ton of money, but the way this executive order is written up, Wells Fargo wouldn't have been responsible because on the surface, what Wells Fargo did wasn't, quote unquote, intended to have that disparate impact.
That's not.
Go ahead, Ty.
It's
It's
just.
your
It's
story.
just. It's just. This administration is trying to punch holes in it by saying the distinct from disparate treatment, which involves intentional discrimination. The theory allows appear neutral in their face, but they have a discriminatory play. There were multiple lawsuits alleging disparate impact discrimination, particularly in its lending practices. The lawsuits claim that Wells Fargo's policies and practices, while facially air quotes neutral, have disproportionately harmed groups like Black and Hispanic borrowers, leading to adverse consequences like denying of refinancing, higher loan costs, and even foreclosures. This administration's trying to strip away through an executive order the Civil Rights Act of 1964, specifically Title VII. So I mean, it's going to go to court. You can't write. He's trying to do it again. Write a executive order to overturn a law. The next thing he's going to try to figure out how to overturn the 13th Amendment. This MAGA crowd is make apartheid great again. That's all they're doing. It's just like it's glaring lights. This is a four-alarm fire.
Guys, yeah. So I looked at that and I actually, believe it or not, I saw that earlier today. I saw that way earlier today. So it was one of those things that I considered putting up there, and it's something that we intend to speak about later on today. Like I said, there's a lot of things, but Ty, you did bring it up, and it is correct. He also signed he signed that along with the one regarding what was it? The I think Chat mentioned it. It was the school the accreditation. So yeah, so he signed that along with the one in regards to accreditation. So just wanted to put that out there, folks. That is definitely Ty. That's a very important, and it is important that we touch on it. Anyone want to chime in up before we jump into the other thing? Anyone?
Did you hear about the directing the DOJ Pam Bondi to go after electronic fundraising for small fund donations from people for political parties, which is just rich because these are the same people that loved Citizens United. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I reported on it. It's actually Act Blue. He has them investigating Act Blue.
They're going to sue. It's going to slap back so hard based on what these people have been doing. Citizens, I mean, what? You're right, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. So no, so anyone else want to chime in on that? Yeah,
Can I just say one thing?
Let's do it.
I have to laugh when all these MAGA people are like, "Oh my God, the Biden administration, legal warfare was terrible. What they did, so awful." Donald Trump is directly telling his Justice Department to go against specific people, and they are saying, "Yes, sir." This is extraordinary, and I haven't heard one MAGA person who was bitterly complaining about the so-called politicalization of the DOJ. Haven't heard one person criticize it. Good luck.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. No, I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys. And, to go after civil rights, folks, I'll say this. Women are going to stay quiet. Some women are going to stay quiet on this. Some women, again, are going to stay quiet on this. And some women are going to find out that they are going to be the first victims of this because they were probably one of the biggest beneficiaries of it as well. Guys, when it comes to civil rights, that's no joke. All right. When it came to DEI, when it came to affirmative action, some women are going to stay really quiet on this because they're going to think, oh, okay, because on the surface they're not the face of it, but they benefited hugely, okay, humongously,
Correct. He's trying to
on this.
Correct. You're right, brother. He's trying to resegregate America. That's what's happening.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's some women that's on the, that hears about this and they're like, well, I don't care about this, and they're gonna realize that the effects of it is going to like really, really, really like set women's rights back uh, for a lot, and it's gonna be one group of women that suffers the worst because once again there's still laws in place that prevents I know they say gender but race as well, so if you get rid of gender and you need to fill the race thing, there's one woman that is a double minority. Well, there's a couple of women that are double minority. It's black women. They're probably going to benefit more than anyone. They're going to get rid of a lot of women and a lot of people of color, and then they're going to realize like, hey, there's a little light in here, there's a little male in here. We need to not get sued, and they're going to bring in black women to like say, okay, no, we have color here, we have gender here. So the group of women that can probably fight this the most is probably going to remain the most silent because they feel it's not going to affect them, and they're going to realize later on that they were affected the most as a result of it.
You're right. They're trying to weaken civil rights protections and make it more difficult for plaintiffs to prevail in discriminated cases in areas of education, housing, healthcare, public benefits. And they're also going after Title VI, the racial non-discrimination regulations that rely on this theory that calls for agencies to review and withdraw and possibly withdraw from ongoing cases or settlements involving disparate impact claims. So it's my parents and my well, they've already done my generation and my children. We got to put our case back on and go back to the courts again to fight what we already had. And these are make apartheid great again, folks.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there as we sit here, guys, and watch this play out. It's gonna be another example of I guess women that could and should step up, not stepping up that the way they should step up because and once again it's gonna be a little too late after it's done to unring the bell. So I just wanted to put that out there. So anyone, I don't know if anyone know what type of, but like I said, women, once again, guys, don't fall for it because you guys are gonna be the first on the line. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep this thing moving. But yeah, he did sign that today. Definitely gonna get back to it. But folks, we have Shannon Sharpe. Hmm, interesting. Shannon Sharpe, and he's been all over the news. Day before yesterday, Shannon Sharpe was involved with a 19-year-old woman. Okay, respect is due. I'm not gonna say child. I'm gonna call her a woman. All right, Shannon Sharpe was 54 years old when he was involved with this 19-year-old woman. All right, and you know that to me gives me the E already. You're that old and she's that young. You know, um, she's still playing Roblox, as someone said. So she's still playing Roblox, and so, but you know, he actually, he was accused of sexual assault, some very serious charges, and he decided to settle. All right, and so for whatever reason, we can get into that. He decided to settle. He offered a $10 million settlement in order to make this go away. Now, wow, though, and it was a $10 million settlement that was agreed upon. Now, his team, I don't know who's on his team, who's handling his PR. I don't know what his team looked like, what his team's made up of. But Shannon Sharpe, in the middle of doing this, you know, he's working $100 million deal, and people like to talk. People want to flex, as they say, and they had a deal in principle. It was a deal. It was never signed, and they were so excited. I don't know what they were so stupid that in the middle of these negotiations, where this young lady agreed to take $10 million to keep it quiet and not say anything, Mr. Sharpe and his team went public with the fact that they're working on $100 million deal. All right. Now, the young lady at that point in time with her attorney, and she has an attorney, Bugsby. Bugsby out of Houston. He's the same person that handled the Deshaun Watson case, the football player that was with the massage therapist. The same person that handled the Diddy and Jay-Z case that was just thrown out. Known to be quote unquote an ambulance chaser, but is handling it. So they immediately filed a $50 million lawsuit. Right upon after they decided to withdraw from the 10 million. They didn't notify anyone. They didn't notify the mediator, which is a judge, a retired judge. They didn't notify anyone. They just went and filed a lawsuit for 50 million, and it went public. All right. So as of today, Shannon Sharpe has stepped away from his duties at ESPN. Now, Shannon Sharpe is a retired NFL Hall of Fame football player. All right, tight end, uh, Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens. And so he actually stepped away from his duties today. He still has a podcast, which is his podcast. However, there is just a lot going on out there now. One thing I didn't add, and I do have to add this because Shannon Sharpe is a wealthy male athlete. I said he's wealthy, obviously. Uh, he is a podcaster. I said that, and I also said that he is a football player. Now, the young lady, okay, is an OnlyFans model. Now, I don't say that to sully her reputation or anything like that. I say that because if we're going to list what he does for a living, and we're going to list what she does for a living, that's just the way it's going to go. All right. So, I've spoke about this today. In fact, guys, we had Miki in the room today, and we had a conversation about this, and I pretty much agreed with everything she said. I don't know what I disagreed with. I don't think I disagree with anything. Really, I just said that she is a OnlyFans person, so she's not as naive as one would think. She's innocent. She's not as innocent as one would think, and
OnlyFans porn star.
yeah, I never said that. But what I'm saying is, I just said she's the only fan. She's on OnlyFans because I don't know what she does. I don't know if she has fingers, foot. I don't know what. I don't know what she's showing. But Miki, I guess there was I pushed back about me mentioning OnlyFans, and I mentioned that because once again, and to be honest with you guys, I wasn't leaning towards anyone. I actually, if anything, I was actually unfair to Shannon Sharpe because I said that he should pay. And I usually don't put my position out there early on because I like the conversation to take place. But yeah, I said he should pay because he was stupid. And, it's, whether he did it or not, it was a 19-year-old. So him engaging with a 19-year-old in that prolonged manner, and whatever happened because he should have known better. So I said he should pay a little. You probably pay a little. He pay a lot. And I said no, he should pay a lot actually, because of stupidity. But anyway, Miki, hopefully she'll be back with us shortly. She rage quit the app, and she curses all out, call us F and P words, and laugh because. But once again, I'm on the young lady's side. I said, one second. No, you can't. Not right now. Okay. I actually, pretty much denied Shannon Sharpe his due process. But I put that out there because obviously it's a very touchy subject. Is he a victim or a victimizer? I think he is both a victim and a victimizer. The victim because I think the woman set him up to take his money, but he was stupid because he was victimizing her. He was taking advantage of her as well, and therefore he should pay. And I think she is a victim, most certainly, but she's a victimizer as well because she started laying the groundwork with the recorded conversations and everything else. You just don't, if you're involved in a relationship, you just don't start recording conversations and, trying to get people to say things on tape, you know. Um, so, I feel that way. But I feel that Shannon Sharpe definitely should pay. I don't know if he should pay 50 million. And I said, he's a fool because his attorney has admitted to offering a $10 million settlement. So should this ever go to a jury trial, the jury, even though a jury, any offer of a settlement shouldn't be considered during deliberation. But if you're in a jury, you're going to say, well, he already offered 10 million. He was willing to pay 10 million. And that 10 million some can see that as an admission of guilt. Or some can see it as, hey, let's just make this go away. So anyway, folks, that's what we're discussing today. Hopefully, like I said, guys, once again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just a male, that has my perspective on it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. The person that wants to jump in, that tried to cut me off, you're more than welcome to jump in right now.
This is Ty. When I live in LA half the time and the rest of the Bay Area. I'm in Hollywood. Women like this, he met her when she was 19, she turned 20. Women like this are at Equinox and at the gym in certain neighborhoods all day long looking for high value men. All the time. They put them and position themselves in the place to catch, not being caught, to catch. This person, this female knew that she knew exactly what she was doing. She's not a victim. Shannon's a sucker, but she is not a victim. She knew exactly what she was doing. And they're also into this BDSM, which is all this crazy other stuff. She knew exactly what she was doing. And when he announced that he was about to come up on a $150 million contract, that's when she wanted even more money. Tony Busby, this Texas lawyer, is he is the male version of Gloria Allred, trying to shake people's pockets down who are men. He did it to these other folks. He did it to Jay-Z. Jay-Z suing him. Tony's trying to throw it out. Shannon, if he gets paid for defamation and go after this, absolutely fight back. This happens all the time.
All right. So you're in the matrix. Anyone else want to jump in, Ash? Anyone else wants to jump in on this because he was speaking? All right. So I get what he's saying, guys. Listen to me. I don't know, man. I, I'm trying to I'm trying to put this out there. I once again, I don't want to be called on the carpet because like I said, Mickey, she spoke her mind, and there's nothing wrong with her speaking her mind, but and she definitely had very strong feelings about this, and I respect her feelings. So I just, I don't want to step in it yet. I don't mind stepping in anything, but I want to put this out there because right now you can't go anywhere without this topic being out there. Right now, even women are upset about the way ESPN handled that. They thought that there should have been harsher treatment of Mr. Sharpe. Mr. Sharpe was allowed, I guess, to step back. I don't know what's going. Once again, there's a lot happening, and there's obviously a lot of feelings about this. So and about women, women, and you know, guys, help me out here because once again,
Yeah, can I
I
jump
mean,
in?
I'm a little upset that I didn't get the personal ping into some Miki mess. You know me, I love me some Miki mess.
God.
Tell
We're
her to
doing a
come
show
in
right
here.
now.
Give me 1 second, Divine. I want to hear me some Miki. Somebody text her, but I do, before I jump in, I do see that Kesha is down there with her hand up. I'd love for her to go first because I heard a lot of mess last night, Jonathan. I heard people saying, a man in particular, asking other men, how can we protect ourselves from this? A 19-year-old. Get out of here. Keisha, you want to go, love?
Right. Yes, I do. Thank you. You know what, Jonathan? I can't believe you, out of all people, are on her side. It blew me away to hear you say that. Jonathan, did you see the text messages? I just want to have this conversation with you. Did you not see the text messages? Yes, she is young, but she was just as worse as him. So to me, it was a money grab, and Monique told him, Shannon, leave them young girls alone, Shannon, get you an old woman. So I think Shannon is not a victim. I think she's not a victim. I think it was just a money grab, and he was just being dumb. That's my opinion.
okay. Once again, the text messages. Do you have the text messages? Are you able to read some of the text messages?
can go back and pull them up. But yeah, some of the text messages she had was telling me something. She wants to have a big black baby and put the gravy in me. Did you read those,
Oh my
Jonathan?
goodness.
Did you read them,
Okay.
Jonathan?
So Keisha, while you get those text messages, because I would personally love to have somebody read them, I'll tell you what, Jonathan, I think you did
Before
the
she
right
go, hold
thing.
on, I want to correct something. I didn't. I'm not on her side, but I'm not on Shannon's side either. Okay, I'm not on her side. I said she's a victim and a victimizer. All right, and Shannon, being of someone of wealth and notoriety, should know better than to put himself in that situation. So no, I'm definitely not on her side, folks. That's not what I'm doing. But what I'm also not going to do is sit here and excuse behavior from someone that has been advised. Shannon Sharpe has more education on this than the average person. In the NFL, they do a symposium. They do all kinds of stuff. They teach you about women and entrapment and all these other types of things. They're educated about this. They're taught in the NFL. In the NFL, you have all kinds of stuff. They try to protect you and your money in the NFL. So he went through that every year with the NFL. He did a rookie symposium. Then every year they would just talk about this stuff. So he has more information than just the average person, a tech person that just came into money. So he knows about this. But yeah, he did this, and he did, from what I understand, he did ask the young lady to sign an NDA in the beginning, and she refused to. And I guess he was supposed to revisit later on. But it never got back around to it, and this is the result of it. But no, I'm not. I don't support the her per se, but I do think that Shannon Sharpe put himself in a position where he has to pay. Okay, that's just he Shannon Sharpe had too much of education. Okay, too much education on this to not be held accountable.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in. This man is highly intelligent. You read some of his accomplishments, but I wanted to definitely read some more. Okay, 3 Super Bowl championships, went to the Pro Bowl 8 times, all-time Pro 4 times, recognized as a top player of the '90s. Finished his career with 815 receptions, 10,060 yards, and 62 touchdowns. He's in the Hall of Fame. This man is highly intellectual. Football is a thinking man's game. Everybody think it's all about brute and strength, yes, but you have to. The playbooks are as thick as a Bible. And I will say this, and I'll end with this: where are the criminal charges? None, nil. This is a money grab. Yeah, he messed up. Court of public opinion is on his ass, but he needs to go with the same language that Jay-Z went with when Busby went after him. If this was so heinous, where are the criminal charges? And I know the women are going to say, well, women get raped and they don't want to tell anyone. Well, if it was as bad as you're saying it was, ma'am, you should have told someone. Why are you going for money? I land. Total money grab.
Yeah, once again, guys, this is a very sensitive subject, and the views expressed on this stage are not the views of debate the news. Just want to we're having a very open dialogue and conversation here, and I suspect that later on, as people start to get warmed up, it's going to get a bit more, I guess, uh, heated. So I just want to put that out there right now. So let me just say this right here: her not filing criminal charges does not absolve him of criminality if he's responsible for it. I just want to say that. I'm not saying that he is. I don't know. I wasn't in their bedroom. The text messages uh, indicates that they were in a BDSM type relationship, and where she enjoyed it. And those text messages also later on, the later text messages also indicate that there was a possible assault that did take place. All right. So with that being said, you gotta, you know, that it's not my place to say where are the charges. All right. It's not my place. I'm not saying it's not yours either, but it's not mine. And so to me, that doesn't factor in.
Hey, JB, I'll add to that about the charges really quickly. One of that was an excellent strategy by Jay Z, but the primary reason why Jay Z stated that because in criminal charges, you have to prove something behind a reasonable doubt, as opposed to, there is not the same level of
preponderance of evidence.
Yeah, what
Preponderance
you
of
have
evidence.
to, what you have to accomplish, kind of in a civil lawsuit. But yeah, no, but absolutely. I mean, if someone is being charged, if someone's being accused of rape, then, why isn't that a first step? Why aren't you, immediately, filing, criminal charges, especially if it's in recent history, and within the statute of limitations for that particular state.
Let me chime in also. So I'm about what's fair across the board. A lot of you men know older men who go after young women. A lot of us women know younger women who go after older men specifically because they want to be sugar babies. It's a whole term for it, right? So, in respect to that, there's a 10-minute tape allegedly that snippets was taken from. Play the entire 10-minute tape. That's what Sharpe has asked for. Play the whole tape so that the whole totality of the conversation can be heard without there being any edits or snips played. And my belief is that if he did this to her, he needs to go to jail and he needs to pay her money. If he did not, and it's proven, then he owes her nothing, not one dime, because she consensually engaged in a relationship with a man who's what, four times, well, two times older than her, four times older than her, however old he is. She purposely, intentionally chose to engage in that because she wanted to reap the benefits of what went with that, just like he engaged with her. So I think that they're both wrong, but I also think for the rule of law that there should be due process. If he's wrong, he needs to go to jail. He needs to pay. If not, then he shouldn't pay anything. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I'll add
Absolutely.
just one more thing to Jonathan, just to that really quickly. So I think, I want to be clear. You can be in a marriage, you could be having sex with someone consensually, and that doesn't mean that it's not possible for you to be raped by that person. There's still a possibility of that. However, there has to be some standard. It's not fair. What we could talk about what's not fair to women, and that's 100%. But we also have to talk about what's not fair to men. Shannon, in my opinion, I mean, made a horrible decision. He had no business, with a 19-year-old. That's gross and disgusting at his age, in my personal opinion. But on the same token, it's like if you are saying that you have been raped, there should be, some evidence after that. Like, did you tell somebody that? Did you go to the police department? And I mean, did you go to the hospital? Did you go get a rape kit? She engaged in a text message conversation, with him, and said, "Hey, I didn't want you to do that," or something along that lines. But we don't know. Is this a part of a game they play? I mean, there's too many questions that I have. So I think all this has to be looked at, because when people are into BDSM and they're into this role playing and they're into all this kind of stuff, it's like, how do you know what's a part of their game and what's not? There should be some evidence that she felt that way at the time. And I don't see that, and I don't think that that is. I don't think that that's fair to him, or any man, personally.
All right, so hey guys, here's the deal. Shannon Sharpe spoke about the age difference. Okay, he actually on his show called out, I think, Donnell Rawlins. Donnell Rawlins is a comedian. He used to be on the Chappelle show. He has a child with a younger woman. All right, so this is what Shannon Sharpe said about older men with younger women.
Now, this clip, even the Monique clip when she was telling Shannon Sharpe about young girls and not dating them. Now, the conversation that Stephanie George is talking about with Donnell, we had that as well. Let's take a listen. She's so young that she could pop out. Yeah, I'm like, 20. She 23. Donnell, 20. Why you didn't date her mom? Why you go for the Donnell? That sounds crazy. You like them young, though. Nope. Don't do that. I don't like.
I don't like her young. I like what I love. Yes, she's a lot younger than me. But that's what it was. Why you hating on me? Where y'all meet at? Forever 21? You know what? I'm trying to figure out that. I mean, where you meet this 23-year-old at? Because I mean, hey, 23, I think I'm a couple years older than you. I go 33. So I just need to know.
Wow. So there it is right there, guys. That's him saying that pretty much him criticizing Donnell for going with a 23-year-old. Okay, while he was with a 19-year-old. So I just want to put that out there, guys. So that's Shannon Sharpe saying that he doesn't approve of men dating, and even celebrities, because Donnell Rawlings is a celebrity as well, dating someone much younger. And his age gap was bigger than Donnell Rawlings' age gap. So, uh, I just want to put that out there. I want to give some perspective to as we sit here and defend Shannon Sharpe, and you guys try to defend Shannon Sharpe. That's who we're talking about.
He's still a hypocrite. Yeah, he's definitely a hypocrite, 100%. However, it's still the fact remains the same: is if he is guilty, he needs to go to jail and pay. If he is not, he doesn't. It doesn't change the reality of what they're saying happened. But he's definitely a hypocrite based on that.
Jonathan, I sent you a link because they wouldn't let me post it in the chat where you have to scroll down and read some of the stuff that she was saying. It's inside of the it's Yahoo Sports is the one that has some of the dialogue there about what she was saying to him.
Absolutely, I'll find that. Anyone else has that information
I
that
mean,
want to share?
we can't even read it on the show, Jonathan.
Yeah, you actually can. We can.
Who
Go
read it
ahead.
last night? Did
No,
chat read
I'm
it?
not reading nothing.
Chat, did you read it last night?
There you
I
go,
think
Okay,
chat
Chat.
read it.
one
I
second.
did.
I mean, if
So,
you want me,
Chad, do you have it?
I just got out the shower. Give me a second.
Okay. Okay. Damn. Okay.
I mean,
I
I
can
can
read
I
some
can
of it
do it
if you
with
want me to, Jonathan.
Yeah, Keisha, I want you to read it. Go ahead and read it. That's what I
Okay.
want you to do. Read it. Right,
It
and
says,
please, one second. Please listen to me. Just read the words as they are, and don't let's not and let's just move on, guys. This is just for informative purposes. All right. So uh,
okay.
let's go.
I know you miss this big juicy ass. 25K for each cheek. Let me scroll down to the next one.
You got to tell us who's saying that.
That's who she's saying that to Shannon.
Okay. So go ahead.
All these that I'm gonna read is what she was saying to Shannon. So this is what Shannon's team released. Tie me up like this and fuck me. Shannon replied, I knew how I would. And then she replied back, it's okay. I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now.
Okay.
The accuser wrote, that's just my pussy wet. Tie me up and do things to me. Which Shannon wrote, cuff up. Jane Doe wrote, you still have my handcuffs? I want some hardcore BDSM action though. And feeling kind of freaky later.
Oh.
Then she wrote, I want I want to be abused, daddy. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you fucking me. That's what she said. Um and then this one says she wrote, only if you put the baby gravy in me. Then you can do whatever you want to me. I literally ate too much food. I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby. Shannon replied, if I still fuck with you, if I still fuck around with you, my birthday is in on the 24th. You can IUD out. Let me go down. It says accuser replied, you're one of you're the one has a breed kink. I mean, I only want a baby if it's from you. I like to be a good mother. I always wanted a black baby, is what she wrote. So those are the messages.
What's wrong with your face, Jonathan?
Yeah, there is no
Oh
way I
my
was impressed by that.
Let me help you out. Man, oh
That's
man.
why I said to you, Jonathan, I cannot believe you. Because you didn't I say, did you read the messages?
Man, oh
Yeah,
man.
Man, oh
man,
man.
man, oh man.
It's rated DT.
JB.
That's why he want the whole tape released.
Well, JB,
Go
I
ahead.
have like a list from like with the dates.
Okay, chat. If you can run through it really quickly, let's do it real quick. All right, man, oh man.
I'll read a few of them because this
We
gets
need a
Okay, let's
man to
go.
do his part and chat to do the ladies' part.
No,
Like a
no,
show,
no,
like a script.
no. Let's just
After the
go.
Sweet
show.
Jesus. Okay, so this is on November 2023. This is from the lady, Jane Doe. I want to put my tongue in your asshole and then marry you. January 12th, 2024, from her. That's my daddy. Fuck, I want you to put a big black baby in me. August 6th, from her. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. August 11th. Sorry. Oh, that was when the tape, the actual tape, the sex tape was created. Um January 12th. Oh, I'm sorry. August 6th, you better crave it. Okay, no. Yeah. You better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Then she says, in January, sorry. Ah,
Jonathan's praying right now, chat. Keep it
I
up.
know, right? And like the thing that I want to like highlight though are the dates because she filed this in January. And what she said, I'm going to work backwards. So on January 9th, 2025, she said, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ass, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. And then he says, can I call you later? She says, I don't know how to process this. So I think like all of those other sexual text messages that were said were since 2024, January 2024, and now we're seeing a year later. Now she's saying like that was too far,
Yeah,
and no means no, and that was on January the 2nd. That's it, JB.
Wow.
that was great. Thank you. Thank you so much for reading that.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
so anyway, that look, guys, that was it was obviously it was a setup. She was setting him up, and
No, I don't think so. That piece that chat just read,
yeah,
I
that
hadn't
piece
heard
that
before.
well, that piece that chat just read is damning. But once again, and I agree with that. But however, guys, once again, I'm not defending Shannon. There was a setup there along the way, and she started documenting a lot of different things. She started documenting stuff. So there's a lot more that goes with that. She started a documentation process, and so um, we don't know what happened. She started documenting stuff. So
As
whether or
she
not that,
should, right?
no, one second. She started documenting stuff prior to that. She started documenting because of the fact that I guess it was coming to an end, and I think that there's a Michelle incident. Are you guys familiar with the Michelle incident? Oh, you guys, yes or no? Anyone?
Yes, we are. And
No,
a
I'm talking
whole
about
You talking about my Michelle?
one second,
yes.
one second, guys. I'm talking about everyone else that's speaking in the room. Are you guys familiar with the Michelle incident? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so there was a Michelle incident where Shannon Sharpe went on IG Live supposedly accidentally and was having sex with someone named Michelle. All right, and he got endorsements off of that for I guess for sexual performance pills and all this other stuff. But she supposedly got upset behind that, and actually, this is when she supposedly started documenting stuff to get money out of him. And so they once again they played before that language that, and I'm surprised that Shannon didn't pick up on that language. That language that she put was very deliberate language. And so there was also a tape where that was released. She only released a minute and something out of it, a 12-minute tape that seems very damning, but it's supposed to be exculpatory for Shannon Sharpe, and they haven't played that. And so they asked the attorney why not play the whole tape, because Shannon Sharpe recorded the tape himself on her phone, okay, so that she would have it. And so, but they didn't play the whole tape. They only played 1 minute and something. That's what I'm saying, guys. Once again, there's a game here. There's a game being played here. So, but she continued. Go ahead. Anyone else to jump in, because I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to give context without trying. I'm trying to. I want to be the moderator of this room, but I also want to make sure that the information get out there, because a lot of people aren't putting the information out there. But go ahead. Anyone else wants to jump in? Go ahead.
Well,
I
one thing. Oh, go ahead. No, you got it.
I was just that piece of information that you
Go ahead.
brought about, and I'll pass it right back to you, JB, about almost like that breach in whatever type of agreement that they had. Because if you are under an understanding with that type of relationship, if you cross the boundary, aka enter the wrong area, that could be considered a very bad thing. And so I just want to put it out there. So back to you.
Absolutely, and that's why we need to understand what was what you call it, and you need to look at the other text messages. So there are other text messages that are out there, and we don't know, because he was actually paying her 25,000. He was paying her for sex as well. He was getting sex from her, and she said 25,000 per cheek. I don't know if you guys caught that. I don't
See,
know.
I was wondering if
Yep,
that
she
was
did.
like BBL money, like they cost, I didn't know what she meant by that.
No, no.
Yeah, like that's the good stuff.
I
She
mean, I don't know, Daphne. Maybe. I don't
I
know.
get
This
it.
is such an interesting story because look, if it wasn't the fact that he's connected to so much money and like freaking Disney I think he did the right thing from stepping down from ESPN, right? Because like just out of respect for that. Maybe if he was with a different brand, maybe not Disney, maybe this would be different. It would play in his favor. I don't know the lunacy of the freaking viral world we all live in now. But I did not hear, you brought something else up, Jonathan. I didn't hear that there were people that were upset that he freaking stepped down and they wanted to execute him. I mean, I didn't hear that either. I heard that here that you were saying that there were women that wanted ESPN to do more. I didn't know that. So this is developing, and I think I think that piece that chat brought in makes me want to think about it again. It really does, because it's a contractual violation, literally.
You know
Oh, I
what?
was gonna
This what
say
I
that.
think.
Oh,
Well, I yield it to Diane, to Diana. I'll say this: there are a lot of women that do a lot less or do a lot more for less. Okay, like let's not act like some of y'all not beneficiaries of women with poor morals. Okay, there's a bunch of women riding on stuff trying to get something else. Okay, so can't nobody have a high moral ground here. Okay, like let's not do that. Let's be honest. Okay, the other thing is this: he is too old and too experienced not to give that girl an NDA. What are you doing? Why didn't you send her an NDA when y'all left the doggone gym? Okay, had a girl sign an NDA. That way you're covered. The other thing, though, is me being balanced. I can't even say being balanced. To me, it is literally an attack on this man. She set him up. Like, however, in BDSM, so I hear, because I don't partake in that, I'm saved, is that there's a safe word. So did she say the safe word? Did they have boundaries? Like, what were the rules of engagement with all these handcuffs and everything else? The last thing I'll say is this. She said, abuse me, daddy. Okay? Abuse me, daddy. What does that mean? Does that mean hug me? Does that mean give me a kiss on my cheek? No. Okay? That's probably choking, slapping, wrap it up, flip it, rub it down. There's probably a lot of stuff going on in there, but it is not a hug. So, I get no means no. I absolutely believe that, especially as a woman, especially a woman with my background, I absolutely believe no means no. When if she said no and he kept going further, absolutely. But I do believe that. Oh, and another thing though, someone was saying something about rape victims and rape kits. Most women that are raped do not immediately go and report it. Most of your rape cases don't have rape kits. Typically, a lot of your rapes are reported. They may tell a friend for the most part, but going to the hospital or going to the doctor, 9 times out of 10, they have to be coerced for those that do go. And then once, they're there, that happens. But most women that are raped are not going to get a rape kit. So I don't think that that's necessarily an indicator that she wasn't. But if did she tell someone else? Did she say that? But I'll add this and I'm done. They also added assault and battery on there. And I don't know. I just don't understand what's happening. But I don't think it'll go to trial. I think they will settle. But I'll land there.
Hey, I think
Yeah, one second. I want to talk about the NDA, guys.
like
He did offer. He did try to put an NDA out there. She refused to sign the NDA, and she refused to sign the NDA. And guys, the NDA doesn't protect you from criminal activity first and foremost. Okay, so if he truly committed an act, a crime, that NDA doesn't stop it. But once again, she refused to sign the NDA, and so with that, as a result of her refusing to sign the NDA, that's what happened there. He said they were going to revisit it, but they got caught up in it and they never revisited it. Tirah, are you here, Tirah? Tirah, are you here? I just want to get some legal perspective. Okay, she's not here. I want to get some legal perspective on this. So, all right. So, with that being said, who was that was trying to jump in? There's a gentleman trying to jump in.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Mr. I'm embarrassed. Yeah, so I just think it was me I was talking before you stepped in, Jonathan. But
Go
anyways,
for it.
yeah, it's a lot to it. Like you said, there's some stuff that I can't give Uncle Shannon a pass on. Like you said, the symposium, obviously, he's been well versed in this field for a long time. He's a former professional athlete. A lot of things just doesn't make sense. Once the girl denies the DNA, whatever that's called, I step away because you got to know that something's amiss here. There's no reason for that. If she has good intentions, she understands where he's at and how the information can get out. But then the play to kind of like all of a sudden like he's going too far when they had that working relationship it's just kind of odd, man. I feel like she saw her writing on the wall that the relationship was ending and wanted to cash in on it. But still, Uncle Shannon don't get his pass because she's extremely young, unacceptable. He understands he's been in this stratosphere of stardom for a long time. He understands the dynamic, and I guess he's been so busy he kind of had blinders on because he should have saw this shit coming a mile away. I land.
That's crazy. I wish young black women who date older men get this type of protection in terms of that older man being crazy and a predator or um um just really stupid. I wish they have that scene. Bullshit? But bullshit? Bullshit. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Bullshit.
Yeah, now we're having a conversation here, and you bringing black women into it.
What is it? Yeah, don't bring us in it. We ain't got nothing to do with this.
Well, no, I don't understand. No, you bringing race into the shit. We're having a real conversation here. No, we're having a conversation here. Okay, was Cassidy black? Okay, well, I mean, white was all those? No. Was Cassidy white? Was R. Kelly victims white? What the fuck are you doing, bro?
So let me ask you a question, right?
Okay, go ahead with your county jail question.
Okay. Do you think that race 0% to do with any of this?
It has zero to do with this shit.
Okay.
This right here, okay, this case is in civil court.
Shannon Sharpe himself said a big black man having choking on a small white woman. Even he himself understands the dilemma of race, but you somehow don't.
Then why did this dumb ass do it? If it was about race, why'd they even do it?
I would love to hear why he thinks it's about race.
No, you know, one second here. Listen to me. He's talking about the optics, and he's talking about the jury and everything else. Okay, she brought forth. This is an individual that brought forth allegations. Is what this is. All right, had nothing to do with fucking race. It's crazy that you want to. Okay, all right, race is in it now. All right, so tell me about the race. How does race affect this? You're on the clock. How does race affect this? Since you want to do it, go ahead.
Wow, that's rude. I thought I gave you more. No, I didn't. I don't have the ability to do that. You didn't do that to anybody. I'm not going to respond.
This is my favorite song.
Go ahead.
We're listening.
Yeah, because people come in. You look, I get it, man. I get it. You were at the barbershop all day.
Wait.
You probably getting taped up and all this other shit, and you heard people talking, and you thought you'd try that shit on our stage, where you have high, I guess highly intelligent individuals, you know, that with exposure of different social economical classes. But go ahead. I want to hear how his race affected his decision to take this 19-year-old girl, a woman.
I don't care
Go.
social economic class has to do with in terms of having a dialogue. That's not even worthy to even mention in the conversation. That's a stupid argument. Well, like I said, race does have something to do with. You can't sit there. The fact that you say that it has 0% to do with race shows that you're completely alienated from what a Black American experience might be, which gives me further credence to say that you're completely out of touch with this conversation. For you to say it has 0% to do with anything, you don't have any idea. That's what that tells me.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Now, I'm gonna tell you why I said that. Okay, first and foremost, the attorney, Tony Bugsby, is a black man. Okay, Shannon Sharpe is a black man. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe made the decision to enter in this relationship on his own. No one forced him to enter into this relationship. They didn't say, "Yo, you're a black guy. You gotta go fuck this little 19-year-old white girl." No one said that shit. He made that decision on his own. Okay, if an assault took place, he made that decision on his own. If an assault did not take place, he put himself in a position, okay, to have these allegations levied against him. Shannon Sharpe has not been prosecuted by any state attorney, any county attorney, okay, any city solicitor, anyone. This is a case being brought by a victim of a crime or a victim, not a crime, a victim,
Alleged.
An alleged, an alleged, no, she's a victim, okay? She's alleged, Shannon's an alleged perpetrator. She's saying she's the victim. All right, so with that being said, with that being said, sir, what machine has been ginned up? What machine has been turned on to fucking take Shannon Sharpe down? Except Shannon Sharpe and his dick discipline, lack of. Go.
Again, you're making a straw man argument. You're making an argument about something I never said. You said that it has 0% to deal with race. And I'm telling you, everyone that has actually talked to Shannon Sharpe, they made it about race. Monique, what's the comedian name? Cat Williams. Other people have actually had this conversation with a specific mention of race, right? If you go right now into the average Black American or the average person, the conversation will tell you they will mention, or for the most part, that conversation has a lot to do with race. So when you to say, oh, it has 0% to do with race, means that you're completely out of touch.
I want to know what part of race led to these charges. Let's start there. Just give me that, and then I'm gonna Busby's white. I want you to give me what part of this led to race.
Again, the fact that Shannon Sharpe himself said a big black
Bro,
man.
no. I don't care about what Shannon Sharpe said. Tell me which part of this was racially motivated, and then I'll be quiet, and we'll start our conversation from that point.
Right, racially motivated by her. I'm not saying that she was with him specific for the reason of being racially motivated, but we do have countless instances and countless examples of where rich black men are preyed upon by white women. For the most part, we have countless examples of that, especially with our celebrity class. So let's not so let's not play or pretend that this is not an occurrence. And all of us who sat back and watched this said, Shannon Sharpe, stupid as hell. We should know by countless examples that as a black man, you should not be interacting not just with a younger white woman, or not just with a white woman, but a young white girl, 19 years old. He knows better. Countless people have had that conversation with him. So what I'm saying to you is not necessarily far fetched from the Black American experience. We know all too well about race relations, especially when it comes down to dating. So for you to say, "Oh, this has 0% to do with race," that is factually inaccurate and incorrect. And those of us who live here and who were raised here know this. This is why some of us who are fathers have that conversations with our sons about dating outside of their race. It is dangerous.
Oh Lord.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah.
like dangerous rhetoric.
So I just want to know once again. So a black woman would have protected him and not filed a suit. Correct? Is what you're saying?
Bro, I'm saying to them, I'm saying from my I'm explaining. I'm saying to you, obviously, from countless examples of those who are listening, we know that he was baited into this, right? We know that for a fact that he was baited into this based upon conversation and language. We know that to be the case. However, what we're saying is he's showing a gross amount of stupidity. Even made derogatory comments about dating black women or
My
engaging with.
question, my question was I had a very simple question. Please let's not go and conflate and all this other. You're saying that a young black woman would not have filed this suit, so therefore, basically, race has something to do with this. I just want to make sure that.
Jonathan, that's what you're saying. You never heard
No, I'm asking you a question because I'm trying to get on the same level you're on. Help me out
Hang
here.
on, this is a better question, Jonathan. Was he baited because of race or because he was a celebrity?
Number one, he was baited because he's a celebrity. However, hold on. However, he was baited because of a celebrity, but because he himself are not complicit to understand race dynamics and how he can be exploited. That's what makes him stupid. That's what makes all of us who watch him, especially from the grassroots perspective, because you're right. I may not be on your socioeconomic level to actually have this conversation. But those of us who come from the grassroots level, we understand this all too well. Shannon comes from that. So we understand this all too well. And that's why we call him stupid. Plenty other celebrities tried to have the same conversation with him, and he repeatedly ignored them and continued on his way. And then there were several red flags that he could have just listened to or followed, but he didn't. So again, some of us don't feel sorry for him. Some of us don't feel bad for him, but I can say to you that the masses of a lot of us don't feel like he actually raped that girl. We know that he's being baited and exploited, and we understand.
My question to you again, sir. Okay, sir, is whether or not a young black woman in the same position you're saying would not have filed this lawsuit. That's what I have for you, sir. That's my submission. That's my question. Can you answer that question, sir?
Listen,
You might need to put the music back on, John. Go
Was
ahead,
she
guys.
fighting against Tom Brady?
she
No,
affirmed it?
yo,
If
bro, one second. Mike, go ahead, sir.
Please, I'm sorry.
My
No, I think
question
you
to you once again.
speaking for me. I think someone was asking you to turn on mute like a co-host or something. Someone was.
No,
I think they
just go.
usually got something. So
Okay,
if it
if this woman was African American, she would have stayed on code and she wouldn't have filed this lawsuit. Is what you're saying, correct?
okay, watch this. If this woman was African American, this probably wouldn't make the news. If this woman was African American, no one probably be talking about it because
Sort
there's
of
a
like,
dynamic. Listen, the dynamic of white women being touched or claimed to be raped by a big black man is a bigger story than a black woman being sexually assaulted by a black man. It's a bigger story, bigger punchline. The dominant majority of the society is white. It has a different ring to it. So they know that. Lawyers know this. People know this.
all right. So you
I
didn't
mean,
answer my question.
Jonathan, but
One second. No, I'm going to ask one last time and then I'll move on. If this was a black woman, because you still have not answered that question, under the same circumstances, are you saying that that black woman would not have filed these charges? I filed for
Oh
this
no,
50, this 10 million to try to get the bag. Yes or no?
that's that's not what I'm saying. You got black women who
No,
accuse.
would the black woman try to get the bag? Yes or no?
Of course, if it's the same exact situation, the color was different. Yes, anyone could do this, regardless of
Okay,
race.
let me just say something. Okay, you just destroyed your argument. So I'm gonna move over. We're gonna move back over here because if a black woman would have did the same thing, if a black woman would have done the same thing, then these are not race based. These are not race based charges.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I will say is this right here. Okay, the optics. The optics. Here's the thing. The optics that you speak about. All right, when you look at this, there's a lot of celebrities, a lot of sports celebrities that have married black people that have married white women. Okay, and and so when you're saying that, there has been a different standard set for sports celebrities and celebrities in general. So you gotta, you know what? You guys want to defend this shit. Jump in, Divine, and everyone else, and my man Don Juan, everyone else. I'm gonna give you guys the mic. Go ahead and give me an understanding because here's the deal: if he said a black woman would have gotten a bag as well, then she didn't charge him. Then I mean, these charges didn't stem from him being a black man. These charges stem from him putting himself in a bad situation. So I want to come back over here. You got Divine, you got Don Juan, you got a couple other people that
Yeah, I
that
just
want to
think
jump
there's
in on
a
this.
yeah, I think it's a miscommunication because I understand what you're saying, but what he's saying is, yeah, black women might have tried to get the bag, but it would not be going crazy, going viral, memes about it. This girl is on Instagram posting to this day, like it's all good, like she's some type of weirdo, like trying to get famous off of this shit. We didn't know who this girl was a week ago, and now her followers are going up. I'm sure her OnlyFans is through the roof, right? And so again, all eyes would not be on a black woman if she would have said Shannon Sharpe raped me. It would have been like, okay, let's move on. I think that's his point. Alan.
I think we're moving the goalpost, right? I think the bigger conversation is the fact that you guys are talking about, what she's doing, and I hear like she set him up, and this, like she's doing something, and isn't this a rape case? Aren't we talking about a woman being raped? And regardless of her skin color, every woman should be believed. And right now, we've got a whole public court of opinion, and people are like, "Oh no, it wasn't true, and it wasn't this, and it wasn't that." Listen, consent is everything. I don't care what your lifestyle, your job, or anything else is. Consent is everything.
So if content,
Definitely. Unfortunately, we can't believe every woman on set because in the black community, we know black men who have been lied on by women. So it is what it is. So you have to look at the different lenses that people are coming from. And that's why I said if he is guilty and is proven in criminal court, then he should definitely pay for what he did. Release the entire tape. Why are you releasing a snippet that's alleged to be edited and what have you? So, unfortunately, when you have the experience and the history of men being falsely accused of having raped or done something to someone, then you have to look at it with a different lens.
Rachelle, thank you for that point of view, first of all. I always come from a place, and I guess I say this from again with my healthcare background. I've worked with a lot of women who have been sexually assaulted. There's just a particular demographic that I worked with. So this is very near and dear to my heart. I always come from a place of I believe the woman first until it's proved that that didn't happen. Because more times than not, it's true. And that's a fact. And all the things that the Vashon had said earlier, those things very true. And so that being said, that's just how I approach something like this. How do you approach it, Rachelle? Do you?
So my brother, my oldest brother, he dated a white girl when they were very young. And she didn't tell her family that they were dating. So when her father found out, he went ballistic. He asked if they were having sex. She said yes, and they turned that into he raped her. So at the end of the day, like I said, we have personal experiences from people telling lies about their relationships with people. And historically, black men have been accused of rape, and specifically by white women, when there was no rape involved. People have lost their lives behind false accusations. Now, for me in particular, um, I do support women who actually have been raped, who have been taken advantage of. They get my full support. But I don't support people who engage in and participate in and put themselves in certain positions because they themselves make it bad for those who don't do that. The liars make it bad for those who are telling the truth. So my position is that I'm never going to always believe the woman just because it's going to have to be proven.
But I almost feel like you come from the opposite side where I do. And I only say this to say, again, when a woman comes with a sexual assault allegation, I always believe her until it's proven otherwise. And I feel like you're saying the complete opposite, where you always believe the man until it's proven otherwise. And I'm just asking, is that
No,
correct?
that's I didn't say that at all. I specifically said that I will not believe it until it's proven. That's not saying I believe the man. It's saying that I'm not going to blindly believe the woman up front until there's proof. Because again, from personal experience, my brother went through this. There are other black men I know who've gone through this. So, having said that, I'm not going to just believe somebody up front because they want to claim an accusation against someone because you never know what their motives and what their intents are. Because from what I understand, I think they said the girl got mad because of the tape that was on Instagram with some other woman, and they had been together for 2 years. And so she got pissed off. So who knows what her motive is? Why not release the whole tape? If you were raped, why not release everything? Release it all.
Well, I think that's up to her, the victim. But thank you for that perspective. I would love to hear from some other folks. Thank
Yeah,
you,
let me
Rachelle.
just jump in. Rochelle, Rochelle, your perspective is spot on. I agree with your perspective. Uh, but and I do believe that Shannon Sharpe was most likely set up on this. Okay, and but Shannon and I have very little empathy for him because he knew better. If Shannon Sharpe was a guy, if he's just doing well, selling encyclopedias, the top encyclopedia salesperson out there, but making $400,000 or $500,000 a year selling encyclopedias, I can get this. But Shannon Sharpe has been educated on this, okay? And that language that woman was using, it's I don't know. Maybe I'm built different. If I heard language like that immediately, I would have known something was up. All right, immediately. But he continued. When you hear language like that, when you hear people speaking that way, texting that way, when you see stuff like that, you respond to it immediately. All right. And once again, I think that the woman did set him up. I believe that. I believe that, guys. I believe that wholeheartedly. All right, that the woman set him up. But once again, I think the woman should get paid because Shannon Sharpe put himself in a position to be set up. Because the one thing we're not doing is we're not exploring that she's an only fan. She's only fan. Just like we talk about Shannon Sharpe being I'm gonna find out whose mic that is. Shannon Sharpe being a successful
His career's
podcaster.
done.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Grant. Yeah, he needs to pay. And here's some other breaking news. Okay, it was just reported that Shannon Sharpe, believe it or not, was accused of choking a Fox, employee, a woman that works for Fox while he was employed there. All right, so and then CBS. The same thing happened with CBS. There's sexual improprieties back then. Go ahead, Grant.
His career's over, man. Come on. This guy's that high profile and on the come up high profile too. He ain't quite made it. And gotta know he's a target.
Mm-hmm.
He texted they have text messages.
Yes.
Yeah, he just
Yes.
stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna go down as stupid Shannon Sharpe.
I agree.
How's career is over? He already had a career. He's a Hall of Famer football star. How
They
is
might
Grant,
how
take
is his
that. They
career
might
And
over?
take that
media.
away from him.
They've
That
He's a
ain't
Grant,
Hall of
Grant,
success,
Famer.
brother.
Grant, you didn't hear the text messages?
Oh boy.
I heard. I didn't hear text messages because I don't think you can hear them.
Uh,
You got to see
uh,
them.
no, when they were reading them, Grant. That's what I'm
Chad was
saying.
kind enough to read them here. Would you like to hear
Well,
them again?
two people read them, so they don't favor her at all. It tells what somebody
No.
read the text messages for Grant.
No, some of them do favor her actually. The
No,
ones where she
None of them
texted
favor
him,
her.
yet that's not true.
They're,
The
Wait,
they're,
ones
that last one does favor
yeah,
her.
where she said the no
in
means
a
no.
very big way. And
Li-
Jonathan, when
I
you
don't-
say setup, it's interesting because they had a setup relationship. And if that relationship that they set up included no backdoor business, and that's what he did, he violated that agreement. That's
She
it.
said, "Don't
I'm not
backdoor
sure
me
what you're
without a
talking
condom."
about.
That's
Can
what she said.
We
She said,
once
she
They
again.
said,
didn't put it in
"You
writing,
back."
people. It's not like
Yeah,
they had a contract.
Exactly.
she said, "You back."
BDSM do not have any rules to say that.
How
You
do
have to
you
have a
know? Are
safety
you
word.
You have
engaged?
safe word. You have a safe word.
And if there's no safe
Diana.
word and that's not mentioned, because here in that same text message, it says, regardless of our past. So then that means it happened before.
She said, "You
Can I
backdoor
jump?
me
Come
without
on
a
now.
condom." That's what she was
Respectfully,
mad
none of
about.
you guys know what was in their BDM agreement.
Well,
Okay,
the
but
other part,
They
neither do
Diana,
I'm
you?
though, is
listening.
if it's in writing, it
But
would
she
have come
did
out
write
by
that.
now.
She
And
did
it's
write
not
that,
come out by
Diana.
now. Shannon would have said, I've got this in writing. So if it's not a formal agreement, you can have a verbal agreement anytime and it's going to be a he said, she said thing.
But
So
maybe
what are we
it's
talking about here?
embarrassing for him, Storm. It might be embarrassing for him to admit that he has that kind of contract. I think that everything is being piecemealed because they want to make a deal.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
would I would just respectfully disagree because he's not
Yeah.
embarrassed at this point. He's humiliated. And
Mm-hmm.
his
Well, not
life is
just
on the
that, but I
line and
think
his
they should
money is
go
on
A,
the
after the
line.
a
lawyer.
So if
storm.
he's got
A,
proof, he's going to bring that out right away
a,
and get out in
a,
front of it. He's
a
not going to wait to
storm.
play defense.
Storm. You know, know something else that where she's wrong at. If they had it in writing, she would have brought it up.
Exactly.
She
Thank
would have
you.
brought it up with her attorney. Okay, they would have brought it up.
Can I
And
jump
here's
in really? Can I jump
one
in really
second.
quickly?
One second. Can I say something? In
Listen, Kesha,
BD,
and then Jotham, please.
There's a woman.
Kesha.
There's a woman. There's a woman
Kesha,
first.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's go.
Okay, you guys. So when you go back and you read those text messages, the text message was January 1st, 2025, is when she said 25K for each cheek. The next day was when those text messages when no means no about the condom. So I'm kind of confused when you say 25K for each cheek. I know you missed this. I'm just lost on that. So
Okay,
yeah, it
Let me.
does look bad, but the day before you sent a text message saying 25K. I know you missed this 25K for each cheek.
so I'm
Now
going
let
to
me just
jump in
say that.
before Jonathan and Jotham, if
Let,
I can, because I
no,
have
one second.
Jonathan. Can I? May I,
Go ahead.
please?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So in response to that, here's the problem, and here's the
So
problem.
Daphne, I want you to Daphne. I want you to respond to what I got to say because I want to add something to that because
Okay.
now I need you addressing that.
I think I think she read the 100X rule.
100X rule. But here's the Daphne. I wanted you guys to realize when you listen to those other texts, she kept saying baby gravy, baby gravy. Okay, without a condom. Okay, she been saying without a condom for the longest time. All right, so I want you guys in your response, Daphne.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
I want you because you said because can you guys read the other response like without a condom? Because you did it without a condom. She always wanted it without a condom. So go ahead.
All right. Well, reluctantly, I'll join in this conversation here, and this is what I wanted to respond and to both Kesha and yourself. Um, First of all, Jonathan, that's not where babies are made, but that's for another day. We'll talk about that later, sir, after the show. Just so we're clear. And here's the thing, you guys, especially if, whether or not they're charging for anything, she's charging for anything. But if she's having multiple partners, if she's not, listen, that's not for me to judge. It's not my place. I don't judge other people. What I'm saying is, though, especially if she is a sex worker or just is a responsible woman engaging in relations, if you will, with multiple partners, if that's happening as an adult and under consent, then maybe they're doing this. Not maybe, it sounds like they're doing this, and they have their boundaries. And what I'm saying is, regardless, like she said, regardless of what that was, if there's a certain time that she says, hey, this needs to have protection, if we do this sort of thing, it doesn't, the boundary is no means no, right? No means no is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what else was okay before. I yield.
Exactly.
And in
Hey, Jonathan, Don
BDSM,
Juan say that
no
he's
does
live on
not
YouTube
mean
right
no.
now.
And can I just ask a clarifying
Anybody
question?
wants to play it? Anyone that wants to play that real quick? Anyone wants to play any of that? Chat. If you want to get a chat, Don Juan, put that in the link in chat. We'll play it. But go ahead, guys, jump in.
Yeah, Jonathan,
That's
while we're
stupid
doing
too.
that,
If he's on YouTube, that's really dumb.
let me just ask this. Was she saying no to the condom or was she saying no to the back door?
She
She was
said
Either
saying
way,
no
no.
Storm.
without a
No, it's
condom.
no,
The
Or
condom.
no.
both?
Mhm.
I don't know.
She
I'm trying to
said
figure this out.
she said, "Why'd you
No.
backdoor me without a condom, knowing
Oh, see, I thought she was
things no?"
talking about the back door. Okay, there
And
we
the
go,
other
Divine. Thank you.
And I'm so sorry, Storm, but here's the other problem that I really see with this is because a lot of times sex workers, especially, let alone
They had a
trickles over the,
relationship.
but how it
She
trickles over
says,
the rest. But here's what I'm saying. It's like because she had the OnlyFans account or because she said 25 whatever per cheek, it's like she doesn't have the same respect or protection as every other woman in America should. Every other woman in the world should against sexual assault. Again, consent is everything and no means no, no matter when it's said. Period.
Like how women are being weaponized all over the world simply because they're not asking for $25,000 a cheek. Let her decisions be her decisions and not representative of what women's decisions might be. You can't weaponize the a mass of women simply because an individual operated on a transactional relationship with a man. You know what I'm saying? I think that people who are completely innocent of that shouldn't even be involved or included in the we or the us or the them in that conversation at all.
Just a question: is prostitution legal or illegal? Just question.
It depends on where you are, Storm, in the country.
Yeah, and I only think it's legal in certain places. Wherever this took place, is this even legal? That's my question.
I don't know where it happened. I'm not as familiar as everyone else.
okay, guys. Hey, guys, if you guys are listening to us right now at home, please make sure you guys download the Chatter Social, uh, the Chatter Social app. You can download that either at the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. It's free of charge, and you guys are able to come join us live here to have these discussions live. Once again, it's the Chatter Social app, guys. And if you're in the audience right now,
Y'all get a backdoor entrance, by the way, to Chatter.
Wow.
yeah.
Hey,
Let
Uh,
yo,
me jump.
There it
Can
is.
I
My
jump
new
in
my
really
new
yeah,
my
quickly?
new term though.
one
Hey, the
second.
new term. What I've
Grant
learned from
silly.
all this, what I learned from all this was the baby gravy, man. What a line, dude.
Yeah, baby gravy. I know. I
God
heard that.
damn, dude, that
I'm
was
I'm
great.
playing those texts
Thanksgiving
just
will
for my
never be the
wife so
same.
she can hear it. This is great.
Yeah. So
Jonathan, can I jump in real quick?
go ahead.
I will say that a woman should be protected if she was violated, right? We're within the statutes of limitation because it just happened. My problem is why didn't she file charges? Should he go to jail if he did it? Yes. Should he pay if he did it? Yes. Why is it the only aspect of it is that she's going after the bag?
question of the day.
Because
Maybe
she's
she does.
smart and just wants the money.
Maybe she doesn't want him to go to jail.
I mean, if they had
And
an
I
agreement, if
have a
they was doing
question.
BDSM, they was doing role play, they was doing all of these different scenarios, right? We don't know what their agreement was, right? So she could easily renege on the agreement. If nobody else knows, it sounds like he's the foul person, but they don't know what they agreed. We don't know what they agreed on in the first place. So they could have been doing all kind of stuff that sound, tongue in cheek to people in the general public. And then, she just said, I didn't agree with that in the first place.
And here's a fact. You have to have a safe word because no doesn't mean no when it comes to BDSM. And I read.
Man,
Man, you know a lot about
a
that.
lot of you guys sound like experts on this stuff.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We need the bot. I see 6 hours ago, new audio released on this thing on YouTube. It says more Shannon Sharpe audio release TMZ Sports. So somebody get the bot. Let's go.
It does look like he's live. It says live nightcap from 2025 NFL draft in Green Bay.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that live
talking about
right
the
now?
draft. Yeah, he's talking about the draft. He's trying to go on
Yeah,
like
he's not talking
nothing.
about anything special. I've been
Yeah,
listening to
yeah,
him.
he's talking about the
Nothing.
draft. Yeah, he's
I think
yeah, the
he's going.
draft is going on.
Has ESPN dumped him yet?
He walked away from ESPN today. Yes, today
He didn't
Disney got rid of
He,
him. Disney
he
got rid
didn't
of
walk.
him.
No, he
He
said
walked
no.
away, or
They
they
said he'll
got
be
rid of him.
back. He said he's probably gonna come back for the NFL preseason. He wants to deal with the situation and deal with his family. That's what I read.
Yes, he walked away.
I think he's going to be fine after all of this is over. I think he'll be fine. I think we'll look at him like he's a stupid motherfucker. But I think that the general public or the people in the grassroots or the general population, they don't believe that he raped this woman. So I think that if he beats his case or beats his situation, I think he'll be fine. I think we was just looking at him as like this stupid motherfucker that we just kept telling to stop doing stupid shit. I don't think no one is going to cancel him or throw him out,
Oh
throw
yeah,
him away.
oh
But
yeah.
OJ,
National TV and sponsors will not touch this dude.
Yeah, but everybody's going to stop talking about him in 6 weeks, and he'll move on to
Yeah,
something else.
right.
Somebody will pick him up like
Yeah.
Barstools.
No, he's going to move down the food chain, way down the food chain.
Grant, I think his podcast is going to be fine. But you're right, Grant. I don't
Oh,
think
he can
national
run a
TV.
podcast forever. He
Yes,
can do a
yes,
podcast forever.
yeah.
But
That's where he's getting most of his money at right now in the
national
podcast. And he's
syndicators,
If you could make it to the White House with 34
no.
felonies,
Hold
he'll
one
be
second.
fine.
Grant was talking. One second. Divine. Grant was talking. I
national
wanted to hear what he
syndicators,
had to say because we're going.
national syndicators and public companies are not going to touch him. So yeah, he ain't Donald Trump, by
So
the way.
wait one second.
Don't.
One second, guys. I wanted him to stop because that was the question he was asking. I wanted to follow up. So, what do you think about his podcast? You think that the sponsors for his podcast, such as DraftKings and everyone
No,
else,
no, he'll lose a lot of that
okay,
stuff, but he'll be on his podcast.
okay, that's why I was
He's
okay. Yeah, Divine, go ahead, Divine. You were
No,
saying
I
something
was
because
saying, a man can make it to the White House with 34 felonies. His career wasn't over. Shannon Sharpe will be fine. Storm just said it. In a couple of weeks, we'll be talking about something else. And, this is the society we live in. People have the memory of a fucking goldfish. They don't even know what they had for dinner last night. He'll be all right.
yeah, yeah. So here's the deal, folks. Shannon Sharpe, hey Grant, he brought this on himself, man. Shannon Sharpe, he knew this was out there. He knew that he was doing some things, and they came to him and they wanted to settle. So they agreed on a $10 million settlement. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe and the woman and Busby and all of them they agreed on a $10 million settlement. That was it, done deal. And they were wrapping it up. And it was a private, and not NDAs and all that other stuff was going to be included. What Shannon Sharpe's team did, Grant, was go out there and announce that they were signing $100 million deal on a podcast in the middle of negotiating, even though they hadn't finished this and negotiating. And the woman said, "No, I no longer want $10 million." She dropped out, didn't let anyone know, and she went and filed a $50 million lawsuit against him once she found out that he had $100 million coming for the podcast. That's what happened. So so when people were saying that this wasn't a money play or this wasn't a setup, I believe it was. They're trying to get as much as they can out of this. And so now they she settled. She's like, okay, I'll take that money to be quiet and go away. All right. And so, but once again, I don't know who, I don't know, maybe you got someone working from the Trump office working with him, would announce, in the middle of negotiations when they have a sign, they don't have an agreement, they have an agreement in principle for $10 million to go out there and drop. Hey, guess what? I'm doing good. I'm living large. I don't know if he wanted to brag to her, like, yeah, you got that little $10 million. And next thing you know, she just walked away from it and said, I want 50 million now. That's what happened. Daphne.
I'm so sorry. I have a question back to you. It's right back at you. I'm just curious, Jonathan. Are you asked? Do you think that she was setting him up from the very beginning? Like, you know what I mean? Like before the relationship started, when you say that, or do you think that once she was scorned, if you will, or violated, that she decided to do that, or was it like at what time do you think that happened?
I think it's very early on, and I'll tell you why. Because she refused to sign the NDA. Okay, she's OnlyFans, so she's I think she's somewhat optimistic. This is just my opinion. It's not who she is. It's just how I felt. Very opportunistic, and she kept saying, "I want you to put that baby gravy in me, so I can have your baby, and you'll be stuck with me forever."
That's not what babies are made, John. But that's
No,
not
no,
on the
no, no.
table.
Stop. I'm talking about when they were having vaginal, when he's having vaginal.
But that's
Okay.
not the issue, right? I'm just
Yeah.
being
No,
really, but in all
no,
seriousness, that's not
no, no,
what
no,
the
no, no.
allegation is, right?
Listen to me. No,
I
I'm
what
would.
just
you
asking to
the
clarify.
one second. The question that you asked me was she setting him up from the beginning? If you ask me the question, I'm going to answer it thoroughly and completely. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So she wouldn't have want a child with him because she's like, I want your big back, but big back baby inside me. I always want a black baby. Blah 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 blah. All that other stuff. Okay. So with that being said, yes, she was trying to entice him because she was going to get him on the child support. So she was going to get him on something. All right. And so, he flies private. He does all kinds of things. She knows I'm going to be in town, and he caught feelings and all this other stuff. But once again, yeah, absolutely. I think there was always a 19-year-old woman trying to get impregnated, right away. She hasn't even lived her life. This guy was a meal ticket, unfortunately, and it happens all the time. And and sometimes you got to stop feeling sorry for the men. You guys got to stop feeling sorry for the men because the men, they knew this, they know this. So his advice, he gave advice to Darnell that they gave advice to the comedian, like leave these young girls alone. He gave the advice to the comedian that he didn't use himself. Alan.
How do you calculate 50 million in damages? What makes this worth 50 million?
I don't know,
Well, how would
Jonathan.
you
I
feel
think
if
he's
someone did that to you, DeGod? What do you think it'd be worth if someone right up
I
the
mean,
bat did
Gotta
that?
I'm
start.
not
the
gonna
God
say
will
I'm not
kill
gonna say
him.
I'm worth 50 million.
Well, hang on
She
a
should have
second.
started.
How much would it
She
be?
should. She
She
should have
agreed to
started at
10 million
100.
and then she backed out and wanted 50. So she was violated for $10 million and agreed to $10 million. And then she heard of something else and then went to 50. You
That's
don't
inflation for
5X your
you,
scorn.
Storm. Inflation for you.
Criminal
Baby,
charges. Where's the criminal
economy.
charges? Y'all not
No,
talking. Y'all not. Nobody's
but
talking about
Jonathan,
that part.
talk about setup, right? It sounds like he was, the more I hear the story, why did he want an NDA? It's her only fan account. He went shopping. If she doesn't want to sign an NDA, then she doesn't have to sign an NDA. It's that
Met in the
simple.
gym.
That they met in the gym, first of all. Secondly, it's pretty standard for people of notoriety to have NDAs signed.
They met in the gym, and you guys keep bringing this up.
I know you
How
guys are
dare you,
wrong for
boys?
this.
Tisk.
Hang on, didn't Stormy Daniels have an NDA too? I'm just
No,
saying.
but this was framed
Yes.
differently, Storm. This was framed differently. This was framed as she was, and I'm not saying it was here, I'm just saying this was my frame of mind. She was an OnlyFans sex workers, what they called her, at 19 years old, and that she set him up, and that he is somehow not responsible for violating a very important term and condition of their relationship.
I get it, Diana. However, Stormy Daniels was a porn star and she had an NDA and she violated the NDA. What I'm saying is, what is the point of the NDA if somebody's going to break that and breach it?
Yeah, I think it was brought up as a setup because this is being painted as a setup on a 19-year-old's behalf, right?
Right.
I don't see it that way yet at all. I don't see it as her setting him up.
Well, and everybody keeps saying,
It could
"Oh,
be.
he wanted a baby," but like, there's so many new relationships that are hot and heavy, if you will, and a lot of couples they want to have a baby right out of the gate. So I don't know where that's coming from. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I mean,
sir.
maybe from Elon Musk, right? Isn't he on baby number 17? I mean, listen, this is becoming something that is much more, I would say, seen in the public eye, but that's just with everything because of the
And more
nature of the
common,
beast.
Diana. You think about Nick Cannon. How many babies does he have? 13 or 14 with like
Oh,
9
whew,
different women? I'm with you.
in this economy,
It's
Well, I
more
mean, look,
normalized. Here we
but
go.
no, but normalization is an interesting word because morality was brought up, and let's not get it twisted. Morality with regards to marrying among people has always been a topic of debate. So I think here where I stand is the 19-year-old aspect. This is the kind of man that makes me want to say, why don't we up that age limit? Because I got to tell you, if it was my 19-year-old and they met at the gym and something like this happened, I think I would put more responsibility on the man. I'm sorry.
hmm
Yeah, but what's wrong with the baby? She wanted the baby because she wanted the paycheck. She didn't want the baby because
you
oh,
know,
I'm infatuated with you. Kanye's paying 200K a month to him. 200K a month.
What if she wanted a
So
future football player, Divine?
hold on, I'll let you land. This was a setup from the beginning, as in, I'm gonna get this dude one way or another. He wouldn't give her the baby, so she resorted to dirty tactics. I mean, I could be wrong, but this is what we mean by the setup. Oh, I met this guy in the gym. He's paid. I'm straight. Let me see how far I can take this. I'm gonna push the envelope on this one. We don't know what her mentality is. Again, I could be wrong, but this is what it looks like to a lot of people. With the baby, I put it in the chat. 50 had a song, "Have a Baby by Me, Baby, Be a Millionaire." She would have been set for life if she had a baby by Shannon Sharpe. I land.
I love you, Divine, but I'm disappointed in you tonight.
Divine, why did you mention the 200,000 for Kim Kardashian? I don't understand.
Because I'm talking about the
Yeah, but
astronomical
that's
amount of
like
money that
peanuts
And
for
they
you
were
asked the
men,
married.
question.
actually.
Let me answer. I'm
Okay.
talking about the astronomical amount of money that women get per month for child support.
Wait,
She
wait,
would
wait. She has 4 kids, and that is like 2 million something a year. You're saying that's astronomical?
where I'm from, hell fucking yeah.
That
Is
were
Wait,
there
considering
married and
how
they're
wealthy,
billionaires.
considering that he was a
Silly goose.
billionaire at that point, really? You really thought so? Wow, that's sort of weird.
200,000 a month to take care of kids?
For
That's a
four
lot of
kids, and he's a billionaire. Think about it.
It's $75 a month in Georgia
is
per
it
child. Come on
expensive to
now.
have nice things?
I
Man,
mean,
they are not living in
I don't know,
Georgia,
Tira. If
though.
you think that it's okay for him to have to pay that much, that's your point of view. I
I
think that's
absolutely do. Under the
well,
circumstances, he is,
right. For her to
honestly, I
what?
think she's,
Isn't she a billionaire too?
she
So,
Exactly.
is a
Tira,
billionaire too,
I
but he
agree
has
with
the
Tira.
child support
Divine, what do you think
obligations.
he should pay if it's
Yeah,
not
what
200
should he
grand a
pay?
month?
He should pay. She should come to court
The payment
and be
plans.
honest and be honest and say,
Yeah,
what are your
child support
bills?
is a
Like,
payment
what
plan.
Have a
justify
ton
that?
of security for
Okay, you
each of
guys are
these
asking a
kids.
question and talking all over me. Go to court and justify why you need this 200K a month. Childcare. I mean, what are you spending $200,000 a month on? Louis and Gucci for the babies? Like, I mean, let's be
Security,
real.
It's for the
security.
child to have the same standard
Yeah,
of
the
care
same
in one parent's
lifestyle that
home
she
as
would
the
have had,
other. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
you don't want to like you're not going to go from poverty
yeah,
to
I get it.
fucking
You're
excuse
right.
me, but that's what that's for.
Shannon Sharpe is only worth $30 million. His net worth is $30 million. You asking for 50 million.
That's what I said last night. I don't. People were saying how what a tactical move this was. I don't understand it. If he offered her 10 million, man, why would she be then suing him for 50 million, and then potentially putting the kibosh on this big contract he was getting? It
Tony
doesn't make
Busby.
any
That's why.
sense.
It's the
Well,
lawyer.
yeah, maybe.
It's the ambulance chaser.
Can,
We know
can I
this.
say something? Here's the thing. I have a client, female client here in Atlanta, and her friends know every single player in the NBA, how much they make, where they're going to be, every single thing about them. One story I can tell you, and I'm not going to mention her names. She slept with a guy, and she took home the what you call that what in the text, the gravy, and inserted it into herself. Yes, that part. To get the bag. Come on now. Females have been doing this for ages.
Turkey baster. Turkey baster
Come
time.
on.
Turkey baster.
Oh my God.
Turkey based.
And we've gone off the rails with turkey basting. All right. Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're a professional athlete, or if you're a celebrity, or if you're anybody in that spotlight, and you know you could be a target, you've got to protect yourself. You cannot succumb to the weakness of women. And unfortunately, there are so many women out there who want the bag and who want the baby juice and gravy and whatever we're talking about. Oh my God, Jonathan and Daphne are frozen, and it's freaking me out as I'm looking at their picture.
It's hilarious.
Oh
They
my God.
are.
I
It's
feel like I'm under the
funny.
spotlight. I got to mute up. I'm sorry. I'm like freaked out right now. Go ahead. Got stage fright.
And here's the thing, I'm not picking up for anyone until the facts come out. But I know for a fact here in this big city of Atlanta, a lot of females chase athletes for the bag. Until we know if there was a safe word, no doesn't mean no in BDSM. And we can, and that's a proven fact. And I
That
land
is
there.
not true at
What are you
all.
talking about?
Are
It's
you
not
No doesn't
kidding
true.
mean no
me?
in
It's
Not
not
BDSM.
Very
true.
true at
true.
That's
not true
100%
at
truth.
all. No, it is not. Are you kidding
Have you
me?
ever practiced
Show me your
BDSM?
contract.
Right. How do
Have
you
you
know,
ever
Diana?
practiced BDSM?
You trying to
Yes or
tell us
no?
something? How do you know,
No,
Diana?
you are not taking the audacity of entitlement of asking me if I have ever been in that type of position on a national, if not international, podcast debate the news. I'm not going to answer that, sir, but I will tell you this. I know for a fact that what you're saying is wrong.
So, Diana, let me ask you this question. Does no mean no in marriage?
Yes. No means no in marriage.
All right, guys. What I want to say is, first of all, welcome to Debate the News, guys. We are definitely this Shannon Sharpe thing, guys. It has a lot of meat on it, and so we're gonna keep this thing going, guys. And what does that mean? First and foremost, if you're listening to us at home, all right, that means that guess what, folks? We have a bonus episode coming up, and so you guys hit the bonus episode later on today. You guys will hear the rest of this conversation on that bonus episode. So, but right now, if you're listening at home, make sure you guys download the Chatter Social app. The Chatter Social app allows you to come join these conversations live and participate instead of just listening as well. Also, if you guys are in the audience, this is very important, audience member. Very, very important, both on Chatter and CH. Up top, we have, believe it or not, we have the links to the podcast, to the Debate the News podcast. If you guys are not already following the podcast, make sure you guys click the link up top and follow the podcast. And not only follow it, download some episodes, folks. Download some episodes. You guys will be surprised by the finished product. And everyone that spoke tonight, you guys will hear yourselves live, and that's the beauty of it, guys. So if you're listening at home, hey, download that Chatter Social app and come in. But more importantly, if you're in the audience right now, download like five episodes. Help us out.